What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Level With You show. My name is Wiley Olmstead, and this week I am joined by the Taxi Cab Batman, Kenny Castro,
What's up? What's up?
the phantom producer himself, Tyler Hadley, and the super artistic one, Anthony Duart.
How's it going?
All right, big show today. We're finally on the Valheim kick, or at least Tyler and Kenny are. I've been playing some Everhood. I finally finished Grindstone. Hell yes, it took me like 60-something hours. I've been playing a little bit of Loop Hero, as well as we'll get an update on that old Pokemon Crystal from Anthony. So
I just play I just play Game Boy games. So
before we
I'm like
get
a vegan
to the
now.
games,
I'm like a vegan for video games.
before we get into the games, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe to us on your favorite podcast service so you can listen to us on the go. Or if you're already doing so, maybe leave us a review. And if you're watching on YouTube, give us a like, hit that subscribe button, maybe even ring the bell if you're feeling crazy. But anyway, let's get into how our week's been going, what's new with us, any big developments in your lives, because I got a couple.
Oh, Kenny's got something. Kenny, we'll call on you.
So, I'm not sure if I told you guys already, but we are exactly 30 days away from me traveling to Atlanta.
Ooh, baby.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So,
people can travel again?
Well, hopefully I could travel.
I know.
You can. You're allowed.
Just going to visit my youngest sister, who I haven't met physically. Who we have we've had a relationship since she was little through the phone and all that good stuff, but never got a chance to meet in person.
That's
holy shit! That's awesome, man. That's gonna be a big. That's gonna be a big thing.
She is now 20 years old.
And where does she live?
What's the story? What's the story about why you haven't met up until now?
Well, so when she was little, she lived in New York. When we were going to meet, my father ended up arrested, in jail, deported, all that good stuff. Right. Fast forward, when she was about 8, her mom decided, I'm gonna leave New York City. I'm gonna move to Atlanta, Georgia, even further away from most of the family they had in New York, and all of my father's family, which lived in New York as well. And they lived down there this whole time. And then for a while, I didn't have her mother's number, didn't know, and no one really could answer me how to communicate with, trying to talk to her mom, get in contact with her mom, trying to see how she was doing. When I finally did, I think I was like 16, 17, and, young kid like me, it's like 16, 17, first job at Six Flags. I wasn't really thinking about putting money together to travel to Atlanta to meet my younger sister, who at the time, me being 16, 17, she was 8.
Wow.
So things like that. But finally, through it all, I'm not really big traveler either, as you guys may know after the last couple of years knowing me. When's the last time you guys have heard me say I'm traveling anywhere?
Yeah, no.
Doesn't really happen. I think the last time I traveled was when the Patriots beat the Falcons in the Super Bowl. I was in Arizona for that.
Nice.
So
I did try to convince you to go on a cruise with us.
And I procrastinated. I'm the worst because you literally cannot talk to me about trips, planning, and that is why I have the ever amazing fiance that I have, because she handles everything and just tells me how much money to put in her hands.
Well, hey, you've got another chance. We still have to book a cruise.
Exactly. No lie. She's got like 5 trips already planned out for us for the year. So we're doing that in April. She's flying. She's doing a girls trip in May with her best friends to Florida. Then sometime in the summer, we're supposed to do Puerto Rico, me and her.
Oh, wow.
And then she wants to do a cruise in the fall.
Dang.
Yes. Well, she is playing no games.
No games. All business. All business.
Very excited to get out on the beach. First time's in June.
I'm going to burn so good.
Anyway, hopefully you and your sister get along.
Oh, we get along. We talk almost every other day on the phone.
That's
for awesome. Sometimes for like an hour, 2 hours. We laugh and make crack jokes and stuff.
That's awesome.
So you're like the Joey Wheeler, and you just went and you won Duelist Kingdom with your buddy Yugi. Now you got enough money for your
Exactly.
sister's operation. Has
Taya,
her eyes fixed.
Taya, can you see me, Taya?
What was her name? I
Taya.
don't remember her name. No, Taya
No,
was the other
Taya
girl's
was
name.
No, Taya. No.
Taya was
uh,
Yugi's like waifu.
Oh yeah, that was the waifu.
Serenity was her name.
Serenity, yeah. Serenity.
Serenity!
I gotta save Serenity.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta give me that money for her operation and maybe a little left over for drugs. I don't know. It's a kid's show.
Honestly, if you really think about it, that eye operation was a little expensive, even in modern terms of health insurance and everything.
Right.
$1 million.
All right. Well, that's great that you're meeting family. Makes my news seem a little petty, but it's not. I secured a PS5.
Oh, you did? Nice.
Yeah.
Did you?
I did.
What? You're just saving it for the show.
I'm saving it for the show. Yeah.
How'd you get it?
PlayStation Direct. I saw Wario64 put out a link that if you put your email, sign up for notifications, blah blah blah, you may get selected to get in a queue. So I think it's kind of like how you got it, Tyler.
Yeah.
Right when it was like a countdown all afternoon. I had it on my second monitor.
Nice.
3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, and then at 3 o'clock it says you are now in line. And at first it says wait time over an hour. I'm like, oh shit. And then it suddenly goes to about 5 minutes, and I'm like, oh wow, okay.
Oh baby.
And then it's a minute. And I'm really starting to make sure I got my credit card, make sure that I remember my passwords.
Feels
like that.
all too familiar. Sounds all too familiar.
And then once it finally, I get a pop-up that says, okay, we're letting you in. You will be redirected to direct.sony or whatever it is. And like a minute goes by and I'm like, oh shit, I have an ad blocker on. Is it blocking the pop-up? And so I go over to my settings and I turn off my ad blocker. And then I go back to the tab and there's a button that says click here to enter, which it wasn't because I deactivated it. I'm almost sure because it was not a pop-up. But I went in, put in the information, clicked as fast as I could, and got the confirmation email a couple hours later. 1 to 2 business days shipping. So yeah.
Sweet.
Congrats.
That's
Congrats.
awesome.
And you didn't let your best friend in the whole world, who wasn't your best man, but still at your wedding, Anthony, in on it.
I
At
should.
all.
I should.
Well, I just checked. It is still going on, Anthony. If you want to get into the queue,
Are you serious?
yeah, it is still going on right now.
Wow.
Because I noticed that Wario64's tweet was no longer up.
Oh, it's still up. It's actually still up right now.
Oh well, maybe I just blind.
Where do you Wario 64?
So go to Twitter, look at Wario64, and his tweet is still there. And when you click on it, I click on digital and I click the thing, and I am waiting. It says currently estimated wait time is about an hour.
Oh, you're waiting too? Oh wow, guys. Well, anyway, I figured this. I didn't
Everybody who's watching on stream, don't do it. Don't get in the queue.
I didn't realize that this had really any better shot than the usual Best Buy or Amazon or Walmart drop. So I was not having any high expectations, but next week I'll have impressions on Demon's Souls and Spider-Man 4 months late, but
Hey,
Nice.
better late than never.
So after looking a little through it looks like Wario's saying that this is most likely leftover from people who didn't use the links from the invite direct from how Tyler got his, and they're just releasing that stock finally.
Did you already buy Demon's Souls?
No, you want to sell it to me?
Or I could just let you borrow it because I'm not playing it.
He wants to own
I mean,
it,
if you want to own it, you can. Yeah, I'll sell it to you for a discounted price.
We'll talk about it in the Discord. Maybe I'll.
Wiley, did you get to choose your gigabyte?
We know you're not gonna beat it, Tyler.
There's only one.
No, I'm probably not.
1 gigabyte?
No, there's
only
1
terabyte.
option.
1 terabyte.
Or more like it's actually 825 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Word.
But close enough.
Yeah,
So anyway,
Technically.
pretty stoked about that. Definitely jumped out of my chair and was like scaring my cats for a minute, but
Did you do the little Animal Crossing Victor dance where you get up and you spin around, you go woo?
it was much more dramatic than that.
Hell yeah! Do you throw your cat, but then catch it?
No. I just sort of jumped up and did a little. I don't know. I'm glad that that wasn't live streamed because it would have been embarrassing.
It would have been the best and would have been the highlight of our year.
So
Nice.
other than that,
Exciting.
I got a rowing machine thanks to my lovely wife. Pretty nice
Ooh.
one. And I've been doing that for the past 3 days, going along with the YouTube channel. The brand is Concept 2. Like she had to be on a wait list to get it. She was like, "Oh, it's just like me and the rower, me trying to get the PS5." So it's like 2 big purchasing milestones that have occurred in the past week. So
what's gonna be the third one? Everything happens in threes. What's the third big news?
I guess you'll have to stay tuned because
That hasn't happened yet.
right now.
Ooh.
I guess not. But something to look forward to. I'll keep
Your
my
roommate's gonna give you that microphone. That's gonna be the third good news.
I also heard that Amazon is getting 46,000 PS5s on the 18th that they're going to put up for sale. I don't think they've announced what time. That does seem like a pretty significant amount that maybe it'd be around for more than 30 seconds.
Yeah, not even 30 seconds. It's like a nanosecond.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's many. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's just completely luck of the draw who clicks the fastest when they reload the page. But anyway, anybody have any other bits of news or tidbits they want to share before we get into what we've been playing?
Nothing major. I helped out my dad a bit over the weekend, helping him clean out his house, get it ready for sale because he's gonna sell it and then move to Texas.
Oh, your dad's moving?
Yeah. So
Tell him to bring a party pack with him. He's got to bring his taco party pack.
all right, you can get him one for the trip.
I will. I'll get him for his going away.
I'm still thinking back to that Thanksgiving. He was like, "Wow, man, that's so cool."
I felt like the belle of the ball. Your dad was like, "Oh my god, you put tacos into turkey or turkey into taco." I like it.
Yeah, so I did that. Hung out with some people, did like a little like potluck thing. So I've been making pulled pork a lot lately, and typically when I make pulled pork, I used to always be like, okay, well, I'm gonna slow cook it for like 8 hours, and do it that way. But then I found an Instant Pot recipe where to pressure cook it, and it only takes like an hour and a half, and
for a whole pork shoulder.
Or yeah, pork shoulder, pork butt.
I know, same, but
yeah, not for a whole one. Just I cut it up into like I got a whole pork butt for like $40, and then cut it into fourths. Or I had the butcher cut it into fourths.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
So, but yeah, making it in the Instant Pot is actually a lot easier, and I found that it's actually tasted even better the way that I've made it, that I've been making it. And it takes a shorter amount of time.
Nice. I'm pretty into pork tenderloins myself because they're so frequently on sale for buy one get one. So you get like 2 dinners for a total of $6. I have one dry brining right now in the kitchen that I'm going to throw in the cast iron.
Nice.
As soon as the show's over.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Sear it on both sides, finish it in the oven. That's how you do it.
Hell yeah. That's it's the chicken breast, chicken thighs. Those are the ways to go.
Oh yeah, Anthony, you started to cook, huh?
I did. I gave it a shot. It was pretty good. I cooked myself up some nice juicy chicken breast last week. I was really surprised. I came up decently well, and I was freaking out. And I was very like, oh my god, what am I gonna? Is this okay? How long do I have to have it on there? And can I put the vegetables in the pot? But it was fun. It was a good experience. I watched a lot of those videos. I watched the Gordon Chef Ramsay Jr., Hell's Kitchen Jr., or whatever, Master Chef Jr. thing. I felt them in my peers.
Have you made anything since?
Nope.
Hey, it's progress, though. Don't let them dissuade you. You cooked one meal.
Hell yeah.
baby steps.
It is. It's all about the little steps. And then
Next,
veggies.
next thing we're cooking, Anthony, we're gonna make when we're gonna record the whole video. We're gonna make jelly donuts together.
Jelly
Ooh,
donuts.
seriously, I'd love to do that. That'd be sick.
Jelly donuts, Brock style.
That'd be really good.
Not gonna lie, I have been looking at how to make onigiri. Nonstop, and I was like, "Ooh, I should pick up some pickled plums and make it."
Hell yeah! I'd be down to see some onigiri.
Oh yeah, I want to hear about your yakisoba pan, Wiley.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so I made the yakisoba pan made popular. Oh, you know, it's in the game 13 cents.
Made popular by 13 Sentinels. Never before.
Featured in 13 Sentinels. It's essentially like a soba noodle stir fry on either hoagie or I put it on a baguette. It was a really good baguette made by Iggy's, and I just so happened to make the soba noodles the night before. Had a good amount left over, and thought to myself, "Yeah, this is worth a trip up the road to get a baguette. I need a bottle of wine anyway."
Hell yeah!
Just heated up the day-old leftovers, toasted the baguette, threw it on there, put some pickled red onions and some extra chili oil, and it was delicious. Noodles on bread. Who would have thought?
Carbs on carbs.
Hell
Carbs
yeah!
on carbs, some
You gotta load up.
It kind of reminds me of an old like struggle meal that I would make myself when I was younger. Whenever I was hungry and I didn't want to wait for my mom to cook dinner, I'd take the ramen packets, right? I cook it up, then I take the noodles in between two sliced breads, and I eat
Hell
it.
yeah!
With
Make it work.
with a fried egg on top in there as well. But
Ooh.
Sounds okay if you did it right.
hey, as a 9-year-old man, that's where my imagination was
Yeah.
going.
Hell yeah!
Frying eggs at 9, that's pretty good.
Man, my mom did not play games, Wiley. She was like, the women nowadays don't know how to cook. You gotta learn or you're gonna starve.
Thanks, Mom.
She's got a point.
So I learned how to cook.
Nice. So Tyler, you've been playing Valheim, the game that's been tearing up the Steam charts, got more concurrent players than just about anything ever in the top 5. I know that's the thing. It is a co-op / survival / building game where you're also doing some stuff like fighting bosses. So it seems like there's more of a progression there than your typical game of this sort. Has a Viking setting. I guess you're supposed to be in Valhalla. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it a lot. I found I played by myself. I played with Kenny and our friend Gino. I've also played with my roommate Diener. And typically when I'm playing by myself, I'm mainly just like building. That's when I find myself doing like the most building, like my house and stuff like that. When the other guys have been online, that's when I've been like, okay, now let's go like explore and like uncover even more area and fight a boss or something like that. If we want to give that a shot. So that's why I'm kind of waiting for Kenny and Gino to come back online so that we can go try and tackle the next boss, because so, I mean there's definitely a feeling of progression, because you can only build certain things if you get the raw materials first. Like as you get some like brand new raw materials, then it unlocks the recipes to build different things. So for example, after you beat the first boss, you get the materials to make a pickaxe. So this is the first time you can go out and like mine for ore. And the first things that you can mine for are copper and tin. And then you use those 2 ores to make bronze. Once you have the bronze, then you can start creating like bronze weapons and armors and tools. You can make bronze nails, which can be used to like make a better ship. What I did was the first thing I made was a bronze axe. So I was able to chop down some of the harder trees that I wasn't able to chop down with the axe that I had before. And then that gives you fine wood, And then the fine wood lets you build things like teleporters and like other things that require like fine woods and stuff like that. So you could travel from like far away distances to like back and forth to places.
So that's how you do fast travel. I'll just give it to you off the bat.
Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, you build two teleporters, one on wherever you want and the other wherever, and then you give them a tag and they connect to each other. So it's not like a single teleporter can go like to any other teleporter. Only one teleporter can go to one other teleporter.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, it's pretty interesting how it kind of builds that progression in, and the whole building aspect of it, like. For the past couple days, I've been stuck trying to figure out how the heck to finish building this house I'm working on, because it really does have like a structure mechanic where like you need to have like your like support beams and things like that built in, because if you don't, then things won't be structurally sound and they'll just fall apart when you try and put on like new pieces of roof or things like that. And it does a pretty cool way of telling you whether or not what you've already built is structurally sound or not. When you hover over an already built piece of building material, it'll highlight blue, green, yellow, or red. Blue is like the best structural integrity. Red is the worst. Pretty much if you build anything off of something that's red, it'll likely just fall off. So you really have to like think about it.
Worried about earthquakes and stuff? Are there dragons coming to knock everything down?
Not that I've seen. I mean, enemies can definitely like tear your shit apart if they come and just like attack you. There are kind of like some random events where it's like, oh, the forest is moving, and then like a bunch of enemies just kind of like crowd onto your house, and you have to try and like fight them away, or else they'll just like start tearing your house apart.
So what's been your thoughts, Kenny? I don't know, you haven't put in as much time as Tyler, but are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. Just the last couple of times, I think last time I jumped in, I was exhausted that night. So I kind of like was dozing off in the middle of the playthrough. But I've been having a lot of fun because I'm playing my role. I'm going in there, and in my head, I'm making my own role play, and I'm like I sat there, and I'm like Tyler Builder. I just smashed it. So all you see sometimes is like Tyler's building the house and putting structures together, and I got my guy running laps around the house, getting his fitness in. see my guy punching trees to try and get his fist up, because that's how you get your skills, and by repetitively doing things in that category. So jumping, you'll jump slightly higher if you keep on jumping and raise up that jumping skill, things like that. So you'll see me doing random things like that, and I'm the first one ready to fight things, ready to hunt.
Elder Scrolls in that way.
Exactly. So, I think in that sense, I've taken into, in these times, there's roles for everybody. My role is to get good at fighting and be ready to kill and murder things.
Nice.
And we're gonna say,
Anthony.
How long does it take to like upgrade? So, like when you're doing all these actions like repeatedly, how long does it take till you start seeing some progress?
You start like the moment you jump in, like you run a little, even just a minute, and you already hit level 2 of running.
Okay.
So it's fairly quick at first, and then the higher it goes, the more difficult it becomes, right? Then you're running for a lot longer periods of time to try and raise a level up, or you're sneaking for longer periods of time without being detected to raise your sneak up, things like that. Definitely feel like I could see it. The one that I feel as though I see the most, where the progress makes the most difference, has been sneaking. As I've leveled that one up higher, I found myself being able to creep up on deers a lot more and actually be able to get some shots on
with a hammer.
Oh yeah, with a club. Tyler, you see Tyler making bows and arrows, and everybody else getting real fancy with this stuff. I'm just running around with a club and a tunic, no pants.
No, we gotta get you some new gear. We can make maces and like all sorts of stuff now.
No, black tie with hair like Sony clubs.
So I have a
That's
question.
also his name, if you were wondering.
So you're building your house, Tyler. When Kenny's playing with you, can he work on his house, or is it just in your own world?
No, so we're all in the same world, and so like we can see each other on the map, and what they're doing or like what areas they're in. Um, the map itself is huge, like ridiculously huge, to the point where me and Dina were playing and we were trying to go towards where the next boss was because we had a new marker on our map and we had to make a raft. The raft was the only thing that we could build at the time, and this is just like literally like 4 logs like and a sail. It took us like 10 real minutes to like get all the way across the waters just like get to this new area. So I'm thankful that I finally have a better boat that goes a little faster.
Nice. That's neat though. I like when they can be tedious, but those long voyages or those long drives, when they have a neat payoff, it's worth it. Death Stranding comes to mind.
Yeah.
How far did you get to the part in Death Stranding where it's sort of like a green and rainy area, and it's pretty early on, like 5-6 hours in, and then you're walking and walking and walking, and then all of a sudden there's just a massive drop off, and you can see this facility out in the distance, and just
yeah.
The scale of it was just like, oh yeah, you nailed it, Kojima. That was a
Oh yeah,
great moment.
Yeah,
Wonder if we're
awesome.
now I can look forward to all these upgraded PS4 on PS5 games. Like I'm definitely going to be installing God of War, checking out that 4K 60 FPS mode, Borderlands 3, and
hell yeah! Oh, I'm 22 minutes away.
oh really?
Oh baby, 19 minutes.
Dang,
Fuck
this would be
yeah!
the greatest episode ever.
PS5, PS5.
So why don't we move on from Valheim and talk a little bit about Loop Hero? Kenny, you've put in some more time than I have, but I've played it for about an hour and a half and seem to be enjoying it. It's another Steam only game right now. It's $15, and I'll give the sort of high level concept. You play as a character that is in a world where everything has sort of randomly ceased to exist. But that's not quite the case, of course, as you start to meet some other characters along the way. You are on a never-ending loop, and everything in the game is automated. The thing that you have control over are placing cards, which you get quite frequently from defeating enemies, and also you equip different weapons and armor. So each time you go around a loop, they all get stronger, and you will, likely be making more complex decisions and also being equipped with better armor yourself, so you have a fighting chance. At any time, you can decide to uh, bounce and get back to your village, but where you can, it kind of reminded me of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. You're like building a blacksmith and cook, a chef, and someone to make your armor, and well, that's what a blacksmith is. I'm running out of words, but
It's
anyway,
like you gotta do a bunch of stuff.
it's very risk reward on whether you want to retreat or keep going, because more likely the materials that you really want are going to be from the enemies, where you're going to have to push on a little bit. And if you die, you only get to keep 30% of your resources. If you run, you get to keep 60%. And
Yes.
when do you get to keep 100? Because that happened to me a couple times.
If you retreat while on top of the camp.
Okay. If you retreat at the top of the camp, you keep
So
100.
yeah, so if you make the whole loop around and stop at the camp and press retreat, you get to keep 100%.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's the synopsis of it. Kenny, how are you enjoying your time with it so far?
As you can tell, I dove deep into it, and I was like, I encountered the big bad after like my third expedition, right? And then I was like, okay, I was like, all right, I think I know what I didn't do the first time. This first time around, I'm gonna do a couple more loops, unlock a couple more buildings, and I'm gonna take out this big bad tonight. And I did do that. So the first boss took him out.
The first big bad. I wouldn't
Yeah,
call it the
first
first
big bad.
boss.
Yeah, the first big bad. And honestly, came to realize very quickly the difficulty of the game is kind of set either by my hesitancy to flesh out my loop,
Mhm.
because quickly, if you try to be, oh, if I don't play any cards down and any enemy cards down, my guy will just keep fighting slime balls. No, the slime balls will get stronger, and you may never get actual better weapons or resources, and then the slime balls will eventually take you out on their own.
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
No.
I had that thought the other day. I was like, why am I playing these vampire cards? They're just gonna fuck me up.
Exactly.
You know?
So the further you go into it, though, Wiley, there is like cards that play off of each other and very neatly. So there's combo cards that you could do, where there's a temporal beacon that speeds up time by 40 in its area that it affects by 40%, but it also summons a watcher. So I like how it has these cards or these effects or these combos where it provides these pros, but you got to take it with this con as well. I'm not sure if you did the mountain peak yet, if you created a mountain peak yet, which is when you place rocks and mountains next to each other in a 3x3 formation,
Yep.
in
Did
a
it by
3x3
accident.
grade,
Did it by
so
accident.
it creates a mountain peak. Once you create the mountain peak, it gives you a boost in stats, right? But it now starts releasing harpies from the mountain peak every
Ooh.
every day or 2 days. Harpies will now fly into your loop
And by
and
that, you
settle in.
mean
Yep, and they'll be just in the middle of the loop waiting for you to fight them. So those are the ways where it does, like, that's a combo you can do to increase your stats, your health stat, but it provides this con where now it spawns an enemy for you to fight every day or 2 days.
there's a lot going on. It's
There is, and I fell in love with it once I looked at this game as the reverse tower defense, as a reverse
Ooh.
tower defense game,
Okay.
because instead of setting up the board to defend against enemies, you are setting up the board against your hero, but trying to make sure it's still survivable
hmm
for him to
Yeah.
get around and defeat enemies, collect resources, but make it just hard enough that he's collecting better resources but not dying.
Speaking of which, I think the hero is a pretty cool design. When in the dialogue boxes, it's not a male or a female. It's sort of up to the player, I guess. And it sort of surprised me that the world building seems to be pretty neat so far. And maybe
Mhm.
that's more heavy early on when it's sort of trying to introduce you to its setting and everything. But like the conversation you have with the harpy at first, where you're like, "Hey, let me do my business, and then you'll have all the humans to hunt that you need. You just, I'm trying to repopulate the earth, so leave me alone."
Yep.
And
Or even the first conversation with the vampire.
yeah, that too.
That's a good one. Um, I honestly say that I enjoyed it. I've already unlocked my second character class as well.
Oh, which is what?
So I'm a rogue.
Rogue.
Yep.
Nice.
So I've unlocked the rogue, and from my understanding, there is a third character class, the necromancer. I haven't unlocked him yet. So I'm definitely invested in the game. I think it's a must check, a must grab, some in a way, for anybody that enjoys. Like I said, when I looked at it and I saw it and I told myself, wow, this is like I'm toning it a reverse tower defense game. I fell in love with it even more,
Nice.
because I've spent my childhood just spending hours on tower defense games. Sometimes when I first got cell phones first got games on them, I used
Yeah.
to download tower defense games on my cell phone all the time.
Hell yeah.
Is Plants vs Zombies a tower defense?
Kind of,
In
yeah.
in a way, yes. In a way,
Yeah.
yes.
I think
Because you
that's my main genre
Mhm.
experience with the genre.
It's a good one. It's a good
And 13
experience.
Sentinels, 13 Sentinels, which I wrapped up. Did I talk about that yet? Last week? I don't think
Yeah,
so.
you did. You did talk about last week that you wrapped it up. Yep.
Oh, okay. You're just trying to shut me up.
Who's your favorite waifu, Wiley? Which
My favorite of the female characters is Natsuno. Just love her sportiness and
I gotta look her up. I don't know her.
Just because she never wears pants.
I mean, that doesn't
Come
hurt.
on, my man.
And I finally beat Grindstone, the game I've been playing for 2.5 months. Beat level
Yeah.
180. I was expecting there to be 20 more levels, and there's a really cute, funny cutscene where you're sort of, well, I won't spoil it, but I like the ending, and I can still do the daily challenges, which I've done a couple times. Still haven't 100%ed it, so I could fall back on it, but got 60 plus hours out of it. It's my late at night game, so it took me longer than most. But it's an essential game. Why haven't you guys got it? It's $20. I love it.
I gotta get it. I gotta check it out at some point.
So additionally to Loop Hero and Valheim, Kenny, you had mentioned a game called Night Call. Is that something you wanted to let the folks at home know about?
So Nightcall's on Game Pass. That's how I played it. It's very, very small download. I want to say it's not even a gigabyte, and fairly quick to install and jump into. The premise is you get 3 different investigations you could jump into, and each one kind of takes the premise where you are a late night taxi driver, right? And there is a serial killer out, right, murdering people, and by mistake you go out to go pick up this one passenger who was killed by the serial killer moments before you arrive, and you get attacked by the serial killer, and you are the lone survivor. And then and this takes place in Paris, France, right?
Cool place, cool city.
Yep, perfect. And you know what this gives me big vibes of, and it reminded me instantly, and maybe
Sin
you guys
City. Sin City.
no. Well, it definitely like makes me feel a little bit about Sin City with like just because it's kind of like a, what would you call it, like a novel
Noir.
well, it's noir, but I mean the style of game is like a more of those novel games, where it's like
visual novel,
like a visual novel, right? So you don't really do any actions, you just watch dialogue and make drag and drop choices in certain spots, right? But in reality, the thing that this brought me back to with the interactions with the with the passengers and the fares, right? I'm not sure if you guys ever saw it, but when I was young, I had the black box that caught all the premium cables for free, right? Me and my family didn't have to pay any of that. And sometimes I'd sneak off late at night and I'd watch Taxi Cab Confessions on HBO. And you get all these weird conversations and Taxi Cab Confessions. It was like one of the first like reality TVs you could catch back in the day.
Oh, I totally did the same, man.
That's awesome.
And
it had nudity, like not every episode. But...
Exactly, not every episode had nudity, and some of the episodes you get crazy confessions and stories in the cab, guy just driving, and they're back there talking craziness. So it almost feels like, wow, like I am playing Taxi Cab Confessions, because you get people who hop in. I was in the voice chat in Discord with Tyler while playing a little bit, and I was like, oh my God, Tyler, I'm giving a cat a ride right now, and we're practically having a full-blown conversation. It's meowing back. We understanding each other. Owner's being too affectionate. It wants to run away. It's taking the cat, taking the train, getting away from the owner. And then 20 minutes later, I pick up another fare like 3 nights later in 3 in-game nights. And it's the owner. Like, oh, I was told by the locals that my cat jumped in the cab. So I called the company, and you were the only one working the neighborhood that night. Did you see my cat? I'm trying to, in my head, I'm trying to solve the person who tried to murder me, not trying to tell you your cat left you because you were overly affectionate and suffocating it.
But did you do it?
I told them the truth. I was like, all right, we're laying the truth down. They need to know. So then she pours her heart out as to why she felt like she was suffocating the cat. She's like, oh, I got this cat saved me. I was depressed because my mother passed away, and this was the first thing that I showed affection to and who was there for me during my grief. So it fleshes out these cab fares in like some nice fashion, and I was like, wow, this is some attention to detail, to even just for a split like 20-minute or like 10-minute, 5-minute conversation you have in the cab with these passengers who pick up. And I'm like, they gave it a nice little dialogue for each one that was different, made each character feel unique. And for an indie game like this, I was very surprised to get that.
Was it voice acted at all for like the conversations, or is it just text?
No, it's just text. And I think that I feel if they would have attempted to, because there's like 70 characters you could pick up.
Wow.
70 different characters. I think if they would have tried to voice act it, I think they would have lost me a little bit, because you could have the budget, and so then some of the voice acting would have been trash compared to the others. I think just having the text, it just emphasizes more the dialogue and not the voice acting for me.
So I'm looking up on how long to beat, and it says that it's about 4 hours. If you just stick to the main story, if you're a completionist, 13 hours. Have you beat it yet?
I beat one of the investigations, yes.
No. So how many investigations are there?
Three total, but it's like they say, so you could go back to an investigation, and the killer might not be the same person. And as they say, to be a completionist, you want to see every dialogue option. So you would have to go back and attempt to pick up every passenger. So there's 70 passengers, and some of them you might need to revisit multiple times to get to finish up their conversations with them.
Okay. So this is on your list of beaten games in 2021.
If I might do the next 2 investigations and then consider it part of the beaten game.
You put Devour on there?
Actually, I didn't. But
you didn't, I did.
You did. If you did, then I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
I won't tell you where I'm at, but it's at a good clip.
Nice.
So let's see. That's Nightcall. You can get that on Game Pass. And back to the outline we go. And are there any other games that we need to talk about? Anthony, you're grinding out Pokemon Crystal. You want 100% Pokemon Stadium 2 on the... Is that on the N64?
Oh, yeah. Yep. I actually found out that my cart that I had before that I plugged in that I was doing the whole game for, I was like, oh, I guess I had already beat the whole like Gym Leader Castle up to the Elite Four. So I had an old Pokemon Blue cartridge that had like a bunch of level 100s on there. So I threw that in and took a couple times to get it to work, so I haven't touched it in a while. So I got to playing, and I beat the Elite Four after a couple tries, and then I got to Lance the champion fight, and it got pretty hot and heavy for a little bit, and then I knocked out one of his guys, and then he ended up knocking out one of my guys, which was my Dragonite at the time. And then all of a sudden, my N64 just started screaming at me. It was like, the music got all distorted, and it sounded like there was a bunch of like apparitions coming out of it.
Damn.
And then it just crashed.
So that's your only N64?
Yes.
Not like most people have many. You just never know. I have 3 GameCubes, and I have no idea why.
It's true. You gotta have those extras. Yeah, but no, that just happened, and it was cold in the basement when I was playing it. So I'm gonna admit defeat and go back upstairs.
I was gonna say, did you try blowing on it, which is the old cliche, which they say it doesn't work, but 100% does.
Oh,
work.
Totally does.
Yeah, and I did it with a Switch game the other day. It worked.
Hell yeah! See, it's the tried and true method. No, I just gave up. I was tired, and it was like 11 o'clock. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna call it an early night.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I want to see Anthony do like a Nuzlocke challenge with some Pokemon game.
I gotta do that. That'd be fun.
I would watch that. I love watching Nuzlocks.
Yeah. It's true. They're very stressful.
Last thing, Super Mario 3D World. That's a great game. I finished that up. I'm on the final world now, and I've already talked about it last week, and we need to move on to topic of the show, which is taking a look at Q2, since we are running out of days of Q1, and talking about the games that we're looking forward to playing. This is much more topical for me now, because I know I'm going to be playing them on the PS5 when that's an option. And
update on that. They ran out of consoles for the day. So I could just buy controllers or games. I was like, nope, goodbye.
Yeah, Tyler, you want a headset, Tyler? PS5 headset?
Oh, are they available now?
Right now? Yeah,
they've got a bunch.
I'll get it when I need it.
I didn't know that those were super hard to find. You're talking about the Pulse 3D ones?
Yep.
Yeah, they were nowhere to be found when Tyler got his.
Huh. So anyway, it's we've got a couple weeks left in March. I'm wondering from this list that I have copied and pasted, what you guys thought is the highlight going forward from March 16th to April 1st. Got several Kingdom Hearts releases coming to PC.
Ooh.
Got the Binding of Isaac Repentance, which I don't know what that is, but I think how many more Binding of Isaacs can there be, man?
There's a lot.
Yeah,
It's
there's a few.
very heavily supported.
Seriously. And I guess this is probably got to be the final one, but you were back into Binding of Isaac in like 2015, right, Tyler?
Yeah, it's been a while. As a matter of fact,
Wow.
I don't know if I can see when the last time I played it is. I have the Binding of Isaac Rebirth, last played 2017.
Jeez, been a while.
Yeah, that's
So-
the last one that I have.
Looking at this list, I think there's a couple standouts for the crew. One of them is going to be Monster Hunter Rise for Anthony,
Oh yeah.
coming out on March 26th. We'll see if that #1 pick in our fantasy draft was apt or not.
I hope so.
And then Kenny, you're really looking forward to It Takes Two.
No, that's Tyler.
That's me. It's on my
Tyler.
list.
Oh, that's on your
Tyler's
list.
looking forward to
Yeah.
It Takes Two.
So is that coming to Game Pass?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so you're gonna get it, Tyler, and then you can play it with me for free.
Sure. Yeah, I'd probably get it to play with Kaylin.
It's not local co-op. It's not local.
I thought it was only local co-op.
Oh, is it?
I don't know.
I was just bullshitting, but that's sort of surprising if it's online co-op. But all right, so moving on to April, is there anything that you're like, oh shit, I guess I didn't realize that was coming out so soon?
I'm looking forward to Outriders especially now that it's on Game Pass.
That is some
Yeah.
big news. That is something that
Same.
just a couple of days ago was announced.
It sucks because I feel like the quality of it on the Xbox One isn't gonna be as great as the Series X. I think it might struggle there.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure how that's gonna go, but I am definitely excited for playing Outriders on my Series X.
Yeah, I think it'll probably run okay. The one I was playing, I talked about it 1 or 2 weeks ago, and it was pretty hitchy for me. It wasn't unplayable or anything, and hopefully they can have some time to iron it out before it actually drops. And what is that? Is that April 1st?
April 1st, baby.
April 1st, unless they're just joking.
Wow.
And then later on in April, we got Nier
Returnal.
Returnal. Yes.
Ooh.
I can
new
look forward to
Pokemon.
this now.
I know, right?
So Returnal, that's gonna be Housemarque's first stab at a AAA $70 game. I'm gonna have to figure out this game share thing pretty soon, Tyler.
I think it'll still be fine.
It's the same thing as the last gen.
But I will have to say though that you know how I was having the issue with my PS4 where every 10-15 minutes or so I'd get that message in the upper left corner that would say application is suspending in 15 minutes because license could not be verified.
Yeah.
What? That's weird.
Yeah, well, it was very. I hated it, and now I don't have it because I set it, my PS4 as my primary PS4 again since you have a PS5.
Mhm.
And it's been gone, and it's been a big relief just not having to see that thing pop up.
Hey, that's right. There's Sony trying to dissuade you guys from game sharing.
I
Xbox doesn't do that. Remember that for everybody tuning in.
I never got on my PlayStation.
I know it's weird. I don't know why that I had that terrible symptom.
You got
go back to the April list. Tyler, you seeing anything there? Oh, you said Returnal already. Anthony.
MLB The Show, Anthony, right?
Oh, my favorite. I love what's that? Sports. I love the sports.
What's it stand for?
You know what sport MLB is?
Stands for mostly looking at boobies.
Exactly.
That's exactly what
Got
I
it.
If that was
Got it.
Oh, what? They're doing Wonder Boy? I should have. That's cool. That's Wonder Boy 4.
So what?
So is that a remake?
Yeah, of a Sega Genesis game. That's really cool. It's kind of like if Shantae had a sword. It's actually super cute. It's very charming. I'd highly recommend looking into it.
Nice.
I was thinking about actually adding it to my fantasy draft, but I guess since it's a remake, that it's not an option because I know that the last Wonder Boy was pretty well received.
Yeah, I wonder if they're probably gonna totally total remake, but that's cool that's sweet. Damn, I didn't know that was coming out.
Could be eligible.
So
That's true.
I was gonna ask. So are we gonna put it out there because you guys got the PS5? I have the Xbox Series X, and it's cross play between platforms. Are we gonna start the first ever Level With You sports franchise, online franchise with MLB The Show 21?
With MLB The Show.
It's a game it's a game I don't know how to play it. It's like a fair ground for everyone to jump in.
Gross.
I've never played an MLB The Show game like that.
I haven't in years.
I think the last one I played was 17 on the PS4, maybe.
Yeah,
And I wasn't good at that, so
well,
Oh,
I'm
man.
down to play 35 apiece with Tyler, but
For a baseball game.
For a baseball game.
I know that you had mentioned this in the Discord at one point, Kenny, but we're getting the PS5 and Series X version of Judgment on April 23rd.
yes, we are. That is also a good one right there.
For
A
sure.
nice little entry in there
A little
for
more
all the
stacked
Yakuza fans.
than I
Ooh.
realized. Now we're getting Nier Replicant, which is a remake of, I suppose, the first Nier. Is that right?
Yes,
Anthony?
it is.
Which is a pretty old game at this point, like
Near
PS3
replicant version 1.2.
1.22474487139. What are the purpose of those numbers? Anybody know?
The guy likes to be really what's the word I'm looking for? He likes to be really
Real
secretive about
meta.
it. Yeah,
Pretentious.
he's like, oh, they mean something, but you won't know it unless you do like 1 billion hours of research.
Right. Like I don't remember what the secret was, but I remember he tweeted out that the final secret of Nier Automata has finally been found.
Oh wow.
It allowed you to go from like the first final boss, so the game's like 3 games in one, to like the third game's final boss.
Oh
Something like
wow.
that. But anyway,
That's wild.
I don't know if I'll be going back to that one. I loved Automata, but this one's not even on PS5, so what's the point?
What's the point?
JK. We got new Pokemon Snap. You interested in that all, Anthony, or is that gonna be wait for a sale for you?
Yeah, I was actually I was looking into that more. I mean, I might wait a little bit to see if there's a sale on it, but it also looks. I'll probably wait for some reviews to see.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I'm.
Just because depending on how much, because I know you could beat the first one in like 6 hours, so hopefully they put a little bit more content this time around.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be able to share them, and
Yeah, social media. I can customize my photos.
throw them up on TikToks and the.
They'll find a way to pull me in.
So let's move on to May, which is stacked. Now that I'm looking at it,
Yup.
we got Resident Evil Village.
Right off rip. I'm buying it and not playing it.
Buying it and not
You
playing.
think he's kidding, but he's not.
Good for you, man.
I support
build that back
I support the games industry.
He does do that. He does do that. Tyler, this one, do you know if it's going to be VR compatible? I guess probably not, huh?
I'm not sure. They would have to work with probably old VR software, and I know since they're talking about new stuff coming out, maybe they would just wait like they did with the Resident Evil 7.
I think 7 was VR right off the bat, but that was when it was not, cross-launching on PS4, PS5. So, I just think it looks very cool, reminiscent of 4 with its setting and first person, which makes it scarier than the third person ones potentially. I mean, Resident Evil 2 remake, pretty darn scary. I didn't get around to playing 3 just because I don't know, I didn't hear as many good things about it. But the big one for Kenny, and I'm wondering what his plan for this is, Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
So check it. Here's the plan. I've already submitted the paperwork to Tyler. I am missing every episode of the show starting May 14th until I'm like got my calendar up, right? Because I want to make sure my paperwork is correct when I submit it. It's from
Get it all set.
April 14th. I'm not gonna be on the show the 18th, the 25th, or June 1st. I will make my triumphant return on June 8th after I've completed Mass Effect 1, 2, 3 on the Legendary Edition.
That's
Okay,
quite a goal.
yeah, I'm sure he'll do it. He'll do it.
I'm
But,
really-
I hope he can
You
take
got
an
this.
hour out of his afternoon to do the show still. But
Yeah.
anyways, but
We're
like
gonna be ghosted. So we're gonna have I've already commissioned in an artist to draw a Commander Shepard little chibi of me that's gonna be taking up the space where my face is right now, and it's gonna be coming back on June 8th.
GB candy.
so what's
Saving everyone from the Reapers.
Kenny's a big fan of the series. He's beaten all of them multiple times. I have beaten 2 a couple times, 3 once. Never played the original, so I'm looking forward to playing that and seeing whatever modernizations they do to it. I'm wondering what I want to do with my Shepherd this time. Do I want to go custom mail or go with the standard, crew cut and stubble of the base Shepherd, or do I want to go Fem Shep? I don't know.
Hey,
Ooh.
and one good thing is that in case you didn't never play the DLC in part 2 or part 3 or 1, since you never played 1, all the DLC is included in there, all that good stuff. So you'll have plethora of content most likely that you never broached when you first played it.
That'll be sweet.
So, what about Tyler and Anthony? Are you guys have Mass Effect history?
I played the first one, and that was it.
Yeah, I tried playing a bit of the first one, then just got bored.
Not Japanese enough for you.
Probably.
Um,
You guys gonna
Well,
play?
yeah,
Are you gonna play Hood Outlaws and Legends?
I was looking at that. I think it's 30. Actually, it's $30 for one version of that, I believe.
Hood Outlaws and Legends. Haven't even heard of this one.
Yeah, what is that?
It looks pretty cool. It's a PvPvE, intense multiplayer heists, like Robin Hood times, and there's looks like there's different classes of characters and stuff like that.
I think I remember.
It was in a
hearing about
direct, I
this
think.
thing. Yeah, it was either a direct or a what do you call them?
State of play.
So it's developed by Sumo Digital, and I feel like oh wow, they've got quite a storied history. Jeez. Looks like they're a big time support studio as well as making their own thing, because they're working on Sackboy, Crackdown 3, Team Sonic Racing, Little Big Planet 3, Forza Horizon 2. So that's cool. Hopefully that ends up being a solid game.
There's 2 teams of 4 compete to execute the perfect heist in medieval environments patrolled by deadly AI guards with unique skills and mystical abilities of each character moving in stealth to steal treasures unseen or dominating through loud and brutal combat. So it seems like it's an objective-based sort of multiplayer team game.
Could be interesting.
We got. I didn't realize that Yakuza 6 hasn't been released on Xbox yet. It's a little surprising. That's in March. Sorry, I got backed up a little bit. So in May, other than that, there's a few things that I haven't heard of before. I know I've seen some clip art or some promotional art for Biomutant. Anybody know what that one is?
No, not really. Or no, I do know what that is. I remember seeing some videos and stuff like that. This is the the 3D side scroller, kind of like slasher beat 'em up-ish, I think. It looks really nice.
I'm just pulling up the trailer right now. Okay,
It's
got some crafting in it. It's got some. Yeah, it does look pretty neat.
Biomutant.
Yeah, Biomutant. That's coming out May 25th. And then a week before that, the long-awaited Deathloop comes to PC and PS5. The final non-Xbox released Bethesda game for a foreseeable future. And then June's looking like a pretty good banger too. We got the 3 that most stick out to me. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart looks amazing. Guilty Gear Strive, which Kenny, I think we should get into that.
That'll be good. Guilty Gear Strive or Guilty Gear games are fucking top notch.
I've heard nothing but great things about Strive in the couple of podcasts that I listened to.
What is Guilty Gear?
It's
It's a 2D fighter that's Arc System Works does. The guys that did Dragon Ball Fighters, Grand Blue Fantasy.
Ooh.
yeah, I think Guilty Gear is sort of their bread and butter. It's a long running franchise, and Strive looks pretty excellent. And recently had an alpha or something, and heard nothing but good things. Like I said, anything in that list there that you guys are like, oh yeah, that's gonna be sweet?
If I had a PS5, I'd probably get a Final Fantasy VII remake grade or whatever.
Final Fantasy VII remake. That's
Yep.
that's good. Yeah, I kind of need to do some research on what exactly the upgrade plan is there.
It's going to be the Royale of Final Fantasy VII, probably.
There is like a Royale Final Fantasy VII coming to phones, something like that.
Oh yeah, that's like I was interested in that because it was like the mobile game. But it's going to be one of those like it'll come out in chapters and it's probably like a gacha game. So up my alley, what I love.
What you love. So other than those two, I mean,
This
Mario Golf looks
this
cool.
rogue book game looks like could be up our alleys.
Rogue Book. I know that the name. Oh, what? I look at it and it's like, okay, this looks exactly like Monster Train and Slay the Spire.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Oh baby,
does look pretty neat.
that looks sweet.
I'm learning about new games as we record.
Oh yeah.
Then other than that, there's Back for Blood, which looks pretty sweet. It's from a lot of the old Left 4 Dead folks. Sure, we could have some fun with that. All right, so I think that's gonna do it for the show, guys. Been a fun one.
Yes, it
Good
has.
seeing you guys.
What's
As
everybody having
always.
for dinner?
Some
Leftover.
leftover sushi and some fried rice that I'm gonna make.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Same. Not leftover sushi, but sandwich.
Same, but sandwich.
Yeah, nothing crazy over here for dinner, guys.
Do you guys heat up your leftover sushi?
No.
Like not even.
So closer to room temperature.
Yeah.
Nope. Always eat it cold.
I can't remember a time of ever having leftover sushi. I'll be real with you.
Yeah, eat it all.
Yeah. What do you?
No, I never have. But I listened to this podcast. It's called A Hot Dog is a Sandwich, where they do like a bunch of food debates about like things like, is a hot dog a sandwich kind of thing, and they just have like conversations around food. And and one of them talked about how he heated up his leftover sushi to get more to room temperature because that's how it's served when you eat it.
It's not a bad. I mean, if you want to throw in the microwave for like 12 seconds, maybe.
Yeah.
I
Nothing
can see that not
crazy.
being a bad idea.
Yeah.
But I thought you were like talking about getting that shit hot. Like,
No.
all right. Well, that's gonna do it. We'll see everybody next week on 96.
All right.
That's gonna
Bye.
Bye.